A young seeker arrived at the gates of the monastery carrying a heart weighed down by self-doubt and a mind clouded by negativity. He believed he would find peace here, but he soon discovered that the path to inner calm was filled with unexpected challenges. His name was Rio, and he had come to this serene Zen monastery nestled in the mountains with one simple goal: to find peace. The noise of the outside world, constant comparisons, failures, and self-criticism had left him weary. His mind seemed like a constant storm, filled with swirling thoughts of inadequacy, fear, and frustration. Rio hoped that by training under the wise monks here, he would finally learn to silence his inner turmoil. The monastery's tranquil setting was far from what he had imagined. The stone path leading to the temple was lined with trees, their leaves rustling in the cool breeze. The air smelled of pine and incense. Yet despite the beauty surrounding him, Rio found no peace. Each step he took seemed heavier than the last. The weight of his negative thoughts followed him everywhere. Into the meditation hall, during meals, even in the quiet hours before dawn. It was on his first day that Rio met Master Shinjo, the elder monk who would guide him in his journey. Master Shinjo had a calm presence, his eyes always gentle but firm, as if he had seen the rise and fall of many storms and understood their nature intimately. "You are troubled, my young disciple," Master Shinjo observed as Rio bowed before him, his face clouded with inner tension. "I cannot silence the thoughts in my head, Master. They drown me. They tell me I am not enough, that I will never be worthy, and that I am destined to fail," Rio confessed, his voice filled with frustration. Master Shinjo smiled softly, his voice carrying a depth of wisdom. "Your thoughts are like the wind, Rio. You cannot stop the wind from blowing, but you can choose how you respond to it." Rio was puzzled. "How do I respond to these thoughts, Master? How do I stop them from controlling me?" Master Shinjo motioned for him to follow and led Rio to a small pond behind the temple. The water was still, reflecting the sky above like a perfect mirror. The monk gestured to the surface. "See the water, Rio. It is clear, undisturbed. But if you throw a stone into the pond, ripples will form. The more you throw, the more the water will be disturbed. This is what happens when you engage with your negative thoughts." Rio frowned, trying to grasp the concept. "So you're saying I should ignore my thoughts?" Master Shinjo chuckled softly. "Not ignore, but do not engage. Observe them, but do not hold on to them. Just as the pond does not try to stop the ripples, you must not try to stop your thoughts. Simply let them come and go, like clouds drifting across the sky." For the next few days, Rio immersed himself in the teachings of the monastery. He began each day with the sound of the temple bell, followed by hours of meditation. But even as he sat in silence, the thoughts continued to flood his mind. He tried to practice what Master Shinjo had taught him, observing his thoughts like clouds, yet he found himself struggling. One afternoon, Rio sat beneath a large tree in the garden, trying to clear his mind. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath, focusing on the stillness. But then, like an unwelcome guest, a thought appeared. "You are wasting your time here. You're not cut out for this life. You'll never find peace." Rio opened his eyes, frustration mounting. "I can't do this. I need to fight this thought. Push it away." Just as he began to wrestle with the thought, trying to push it out of his mind, Master Shinjo appeared beside him. He placed a hand on Rio's shoulder, his presence calm and steady. "Ah, I see," Master Shinjo said. "You are fighting your thoughts again." "I have to fight them, Master," Rio exclaimed. "These thoughts are ruining me. How can I let them go?" The monk smiled gently. "Fighting them only strengthens them. The more you resist, the more they cling to you. Instead, observe them without attachment. Like a cloud in the sky, your thoughts will pass. But when you try to push them away, you create a storm that makes them linger." Rio sighed. "But how do I do that? How do I simply watch them without reacting?" Master Shinjo raised his hand and extended his fingers. "Imagine your thoughts are like the leaves on a tree. When the wind blows, the leaves shake and fall, but the tree does not fight the wind. It simply stands, rooted and strong, while the wind passes by. Your mind is like the tree, and your thoughts are the leaves. Let them come," the master continued, "and let them go." The following weeks were not easy for Rio. His mind was still filled with the same negative thoughts, thoughts of failure, unworthiness, and doubt. He tried hard to practice the teachings of Master Shinjo, but each time a negative thought appeared, his first instinct was to fight it, to push it away. The harder he fought, the more tangled he became in his thoughts. One evening, after a long day of meditation, Ryo sat by the pond once more, reflecting on his journey. The sun was setting, casting a warm glow over the water. He remembered Master Shinjo's words. The more you engage with negative thoughts, the more they grow. But if you let them be, they pass, just like the wind through a field. Ryo closed his eyes and took a deep breath. I don't need to fight. I don't need to struggle. I just need to observe. Slowly, he began to notice his thoughts like distant clouds on the horizon. They came and went, fear of failure, insecurity, worry. But instead of grasping at them, he simply watched. He observed them without judgment, without attachment. The more he let them come and go, the less power they seemed to have. Months passed and Ryo grew more centered. He no longer sought to eliminate his negative thoughts, but simply let them pass. He no longer identified with them. He had learned to stand strong like the tree, rooted in his awareness, watching the winds of thought come and go without getting swept away. One day a challenge came. Ryo was asked to lead a group of newcomers in a simple meditation practice. The thought of guiding others made him anxious. What if I fail? What if they think I'm not good enough? The familiar wave of negativity surged within him, but this time Ryo remembered the teachings of Master Shinjo. Instead of engaging with the thoughts, he observed them. He noticed the fear, the doubt, but he did not let them define him. He sat down before the group, calm and steady as he had learned. As he guided the newcomers, he could feel his thoughts swirl around him, but they no longer controlled him. He had learned to let them pass, and as the session concluded, Ryo felt an overwhelming sense of peace. Peace not because the thoughts had disappeared, but because he had learned to let them be. Master Shinjo, who had been watching from a distance, approached with a knowing smile. You have learned, my young disciple, he said. You have learned the art of non-attachment. The wind still blows, but the tree stands firm. Ryo bowed deeply, gratitude and understanding filling his heart. He had found peace not by fighting his thoughts, but by learning the power of letting go. And in that moment, he knew that the journey had only just begun. Thank you for joining me on this journey of wisdom and peace. If these stories resonate with your heart and bring calm to your mind, consider subscribing to stay connected. Each story is crafted to help you find a deeper sense of clarity, compassion, and inner peace. Let's continue exploring these timeless teachings together. Subscribe now and let's walk this path of wisdom side by side.